Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about the one sign your ex is coming back, right? So this is the be all end all sign that your ex is in fact, has missed you, and it's quite clear from this sign that they do want to get back with you and they want to reconnect with you. At least they want to reconnect with you, right? At the very least they want to reconnect. And that is if they message you or if they call you up, right? And when they do message you or call you, it could be just as simple as a hey, how are you? What have you been up to with your life? Or it could be they may just call you or message you about something that it's not really that important, basically. It's something like they're using an excuse to talk to you, right? It's an excuse. Like it could be something like, do you remember when we went to this place? Do you have the postcode? Because I'd really like to visit there, or something like that. It's something that they could easily look up themselves. It's information that they could easily find by themselves. So they're essentially, they're using it as an excuse to talk to you, right? So that's a clear sign if your ex wants to get back with you, okay? So what's really important about this message, because sometimes your ex will message you or call you up, but it's not because they want you back. And basically how you tell is if this message is about them like trying to finalize things. Like they may call you up or message you saying, and initiate a conversation with you, basically saying, can I come and collect my stuff? Or can I come and collect that plant pot that belonged to my mother? Or when can you come and pick up your stuff? Or something like that. Or if it's about finalizing things, or if it's about someone else. So let's say, for example, that you have kids with your ex, and they're talking about their kids to you. They're talking about the kids, basically, and it's not about you two. It's not about inquiring about you. It's not about the relationship. It's not them asking how you are and things. Now, it may be the case as well that they may say, hey, how are you? And then go on to something about the kids because they're being polite. But again, that if the main thing is about the kids and the main point is about the kids, or whatever it is that you two may have tied up together, it doesn't have to be kids. It could be something to do with a house. It could be something to do with property that you both own. If the main core message is about that, then you can't take that too seriously. You have to see that as, okay, this is about finalizing things. This is something that's not about me, right? So that's a sign, basically, that if your ex messages or calls you, that they're not interested in getting back with you, they're not trying to reconnect. It's only if they send a message to you that is about inquiring just about you, or they're bringing up something that they could easily find out themselves, that they're using as an excuse to speak to you, okay? So some of the things that you need to ignore are, because I get a lot of people asking, my ex watches all of my Instagram stories. Does that mean they still love me? Does that mean they still like me? First of all, the answer to that is probably, maybe, but it's not likely, okay? You don't want to assume it, right? Because you don't know. They might be just nosy. There's different reasons as to why an ex may watch all of your stories. Like, it could be because they're being nosy. It could be because they're just trying to make sure that you're not doing better than what they are. They're being competitive. It could be that they're just curious. It could be that they still like you. And it could be that they miss you. But the thing is you don't know. It's 50-50, right? And those odds aren't good, in my opinion, right? So, you've got to assume that means nothing. Even if they like things on your social media, if they add you on social media or follow you on social media, you got to ignore those things. If they comment on your things, if they, share some of your things, whatever it may be, the only thing you should take seriously is a message or a call. If they're doing any other kind of thing on social media, then it doesn't mean anything, basically. You've got to assume that it doesn't mean anything. Of course, it could always mean something. I mean, it could mean that they do like you. It could mean that they do want to get back with you. But it's best to assume that it's not, because if you get your hopes up like that, I feel like sometimes it's not good. And also, I've seen people that are like, oh my god, my ex liked my photo, so I messaged them. And then, things just went downhill from there. They may have even confessed that they want their ex back. They're like, hey, how are you? I really miss you. But just because their ex liked their photo, and then they end up getting blocked, or the ex just says, oh, I just thought the photo was good or something like that, and they just ended up ruining no contact or things like that because they just couldn't help themselves. They just got so excited that their ex liked one photo or watched a couple of stories, assumed that it meant that they wanted them back, and then they just messed things up by messaging their ex. When actually them liking or doing whatever they did on social media meant nothing, and it didn't mean that they wanted them back. So you can't assume that these things mean something. You have to assume that they don't mean anything, and the only thing that does mean something is if they directly message you or phone you up, and it's private. It's just between you two. It's not them commenting on a photo or something saying, hey, how are you? It has to be a direct private message to you, right? So another thing is while you're going through this sort of thing, is you got to focus on other things and just assume that it's over, right? Because if you're, hoping for a call, you're hoping for a text, or you're doing no contact, whatever it may be, you've got to assume that it's over. When a relationship ends, you've got to assume that it's over. And you've got to go into no contact with them. You've got to end things. You've got to walk away from it. You've got to accept it gracefully, because I've seen a lot of people that don't accept the breakup, which is fair enough, because if you don't want something to end, then your first instinct when it does end is to fight for it, right? But usually that's the worst thing to do. I've seen people that get, dumped, and then they start begging, they start pleading, they're like, oh, please take me back. When they're doing that, it actually comes across as really unattractive, and it turns off the ex even more and makes the ex run away even further, right? It's only when you are graceful about the breakup that you have a chance to perhaps salvage things and to perhaps make them change their mind about you. So the best response when you get broken up with, when someone dumps you, is to say, oh, that's a real shame. I'd love to continue this relationship, but I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me. So, even though it sucks, I accept it, and I just hope that you have a good life. And if you've got my contact information, if you ever want to reach out, if you want to reconnect, but that's basically what you got to say. You're just being very gracious about it. You're not being too butthurt over it. You're not getting angry. You're not getting defensive. You're not getting overly emotional. You're not begging. You're not pleading. You're just accepting it, right? And personally, I think that's the best thing to do. That's the most emotionally stable thing to do, is to just be like, oh, that's a shame. That sucks. I'd love to be with you, but I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me. So you got my contact info. Get in touch if you change your mind about it, if you want to reconnect, right? And that's how you got to deal with that sort of situation when someone dumps you. And then you've got to assume then, from that point on, that it's over, that it's ended, and you've got to start moving on. You've got to start the process of healing, giving yourself plenty of time and space to heal, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people go from one relationship straight into another, or they don't have time to actually heal properly during the time that they're single, because they're still obsessing over the ex. They're still watching videos of them, or they're still looking at old photos. They're still getting sad about it every night, listening to sad love songs and things. So they're just staying stuck in that place. They may even still be messaging their ex and begging them to take them back. They're not having time to move on and to heal over it. So when this kind of thing happens to you and you get broken up with, then you need to start doing that sort of thing. But the sign that your ex is coming back is if they call you up, they message you. They call you up and they message you, and it's about them just inquiring about you, or they're bringing up some sort of this. They're basically messaging you with some excuse to talk to you. Okay, that's the best sign that your ex potentially. Even if that happens, it's still not 100%, right? But it is a strong sign. Like I would say, it's probably like about 75% that they could be wanting to get back with you if they're just inquiring about you, or if they are messaging you with an excuse to talk to you that that they could easily find out on Google, like a quick Google search or something, or they could ask someone else. They didn't have to ask you. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.